Boy accidentally kills his neighbor's best friend to keep others from finding him, hides the body in a crack in the stone. From then on, he lives in fear. The story begins. 12-year-old Anton lives with his mother, living in a small town. His mother is very busy. She doesn't have much time for Anton. Anton finds out that his mother is in love. A colleague of his mother's, Ando, has a crush on a girl of his own. Every morning at the window, peeking out of the window to see if you still love him, passing by and rushing down to create a chance encounter. Amy has a younger brother, Xiaomi. Their family had a dog. Anton loved the dog very much. One day Mi was going to deliver a lunchbox to her father, and he asked Anton to accompany him. First Anton went to the town clinic to return a book. His dream was to be a doctor someday. The doctor also liked Anton very much, so he lent him another book. Then he accompanied me to deliver the food. He ran into his father, who was having a fit of rage. The company was in recession and facing bankruptcy, and so Mi didn't. She didn't get a good look from her father. On the way back, Anton saw Amy kissing with another boy. Anton was very upset. He returned home in a fit of anger. The sound of a barking dog made Anton even more upset, so Anton threw the baseball out of his hand. The dog chased him out and had a car accident. Mi's father took a shotgun out of the house and shot the dying dog. The driver was terrified. Anton was also stunned by the scene. The next day Anton saw the rubbish truck pulling away the dog's body, and then he saw Amy on a date with her boyfriend. Anton was furious, so he went to his secret cabin with Mi. Mi was curious and followed him. Mi asked him what he was so angry about. At this moment, Anton was also angry. He threw a wooden stick at Xiaomi. It hit Xiaomi directly on the head. He fell and hit the stone again. He lost his life instantly. Anton was stunned. He didn't mean to do it. In order to keep people from finding out, Anton pushed the body into the stone crevice. Then he ran back home. Xiaomi's parents found out. He hadn't been home for a long time. The news soon spread through the town. Everyone started looking for him. In the end, there were no clues, so they called the police. In a panic, Anton found his watch had fallen off at the scene, and that his clothes had been cut by a stone. He ran back to his room. He hid his clothes under his bed. Only then did Anton realize he had made a big mistake. His mother saw that something was wrong with her son, thought her son was worried about Mi's safety. The next day the police found Anton, asked about the last time he and Mi, when they last saw him. Instead, the police learned that Mi was crying at home that day because Mi's father had killed his dog. So the suspect was turned to Mi's father. After questioning him, Mi's father had no motive for the crime. The town was having a party at night. Everyone was celebrating happily. Mi's father was crying. He stood up and shouted that his son had been missing for days. They are still in the mood for conversation. Mi's mother fell ill as a result. The next day the police began a carpet search of the town. They soon found the location of the crime. They were close to finding the body. Anton was in a cold sweat. The sun was going down. The police had gone home to rest. During the night Anton took a lot of tranquilizers so that no one would notice that he was out of sorts. As a result, that night, the town was hit by a powerful typhoon. Houses were destroyed overnight. Hundreds of people were killed. Mi's case was suspended. Ando escaped justice. Soon after 15 years, Anton graduated with a master's degree this year. He had obtained his medical license. In the evening, the town held another party. Everyone was wishing the doctor well on his retirement, but the doctor was a little disappointed, because when he retires, there would be no one to take his place. Although Anton had dreamed of becoming a doctor, but he wanted to go to a big hospital. At the party, Anton meets Amy. The two soon hit it off, and they spent the night talking. Soon afterwards, the police found Mi's body. On this day a construction company had contracted the forest. Anton saw the trees being hauled away by the truckloads. He had a bad feeling in his heart. He immediately went home to find tools to bury the body. Late at night Anton arrived at the scene of the crime. The truck that was just about to pull the trees came back. Anton was scared back. The next day, the police announced that Mi's body had been found, and that a hair of the murderer had been found on Mi's body. A hair of the murderer was found. Mi's father suggested to have everyone in the town do a DNA test, but the police thought it would be a waste of time and a waste of resources. Anton was relieved to hear this. He knew he had to get out of here. It turned out that Amy had told her she was pregnant, but all Anton wanted to do now was leave town. He still won't admit the baby is his. Amy offered to do a DNA test to prove it. At the mention of DNA, Anton panicked and left. When she returned, the doctor found Anton. It turned out that the doctor had found out early on that Anton. He was heavily sedated. He guessed that Anton was the killer. He told Anton to turn himself in. If he didn't go, then he would write a letter to the police. At night, Anton walked to the police station. In the end, he didn't have the courage to go in. Instead, he turned around and went to the doctor's house. He made a deal with the doctor. As long as the doctor didn't reveal himself, then he would buy his clinic. And so Anton stayed, and he married Amy. That day Anton's stepfather found him. He brought out the watch that Anton had left behind, and told him, "I loved your mother so much, that's why I didn't tell on you." And he told Andong not to worry anymore. In the evening, The two families sat down together for dinner. It was a happy atmosphere. Everyone had something on their mind, especially Anton. Maybe the mistakes they made back then. He has to spend his life paying for it. And that's the end of the film. The film 3 Days in a Lifetime is an adaptation of the novel of the same name. As the mysteries of the plot are solved one by one, it turns out that everyone around him guesses that Anton did it. But in order to protect his young heart, they all choose to remain silent and wait. But many viewers felt that this is what really happened. What would you do if you were Anton? Would you choose to turn yourself in, or spend the rest of your life trying to redeem yourself?